All right, so to start our labels, so I just started kind of playing around with some words here. So the font I'm going to use is this Cricut Keystone. I like it because it's like a chunky font that won't, I think it'll be able to withstand the wear and tear of me going into my spice drawer. So that, and then also it'll be really simple to cut even with it being so small. And three, or I don't know if I was going in numerical order, ABC order, whatever. But also it'll be easy to read because it's a nice bold font. So to start this, all I did was create a text box. So I came over here to the text. So just click that and you can see that it populates down here. So I'm just gonna write one of the spices I know I have on hand, which is turmeric. Oh my god, that's humongous. So I'm going to size this one so it is the same size as this. So if we bring this up here, we can tell it's basically like 1/4 of an inch high. So I'm just gonna bring this guy over here. I like to use this grid as my ruler. And so to size this, I want to come over here and click this unlock. And you can see that when I do that, it lights these arrows up green so we can manipulate the font however we want. So I'm just going to click and drag this over. And so I'm just going to size this. So it's that 1/4 of an inch, and I want it just to be wide enough so I can read it. And it's kind of hard when it gets that small and it's up in that corner. You can't really grab it. So I'm just going to bring it down. So I'm just going to make it So we have our turmeric there. We have our cumin, and you can see that's about the same size. It just looks a little bit different because it's not as long of a word, but if I wanted to make it exactly the same, I could just kind of eyeball it a little bit. So those look pretty similar. So now to make my life easy so I don't have to do a text box and do that whole resizing thing over and over again, I'm going to click on one of my spices or one of my text boxes, and I'm going to come over here to duplicate. And so you can see that we just duplicated that cumin, and I'm going to double click on it, and you can see that it repopulated our text box, so I can just delete that and make a new spice. So I know another one I have is garlic powder. And so you can see these all look pretty similar. So I'm just going to repeat that process over and over again. So garlic powder, double click this, we have onion powder, and so I'm just going to keep, actually I don't have cayenne pepper right now, chili powder. So I'm just going to keep doing this till I am finished. All right, so I think that is it for my spices. I'm super bummed because I actually got 8 more of these little containers and I took them back because I don't know, I got lazy, didn't think that I needed them, and now I'm like, I'd really like those, so I might actually buy them back. We'll see. So now that this is all done, I'm gonna just make them all black, make it look super clean. So we can come over here to make it, and we can see our mat has everything on here, and I think I'm just going to, well, actually, I'm gonna look at the size of the vinyl I have and see how I should position these. All right, so I'm gonna just bring a couple of these down just because I don't have the widest piece of vinyl right now. It's it's like a chunk. This is a great project for using scrap vinyl. And of course you can use, like, if you have fun colors, if you want to like color code. I was thinking of color coding, but I decided to be kind to myself today and make it easy. All right, so that's that. We do not have to mirror, so we can hit continue. So it's going to find our machine here. I'm going to be using my maker, but you could absolutely 100% use your Explore Air 2. I'm not familiar with the Explore regular one, but or like the one, but I'm sure you do this with that too. But all right, so for our materials, because we're doing such a small piece of, or we're doing such a small cut, I'm gonna come over here to browse all materials, and I want to search for washi, and we're gonna use our washi setting because washi is a really delicate tape, and so the machine knows to cut it delicately. So even though we're using vinyl, because we are cutting it so tiny, sometimes a regular vinyl setting is too rough for it. So that's why I like to use washi tape setting for this. I just did a video a couple videos ago how to use the washi tape setting, but this is basically the same tutorial for that too, because basically you just use it. But if you want to check that out, I'll link it. So I'm going to hit done. And the trick is I want to make sure that it cuts through the vinyl, so I'm going to change my pressure to more. So if you have an Explore Air 2, all you have to do to get to this washi tape setting is turn your dial to custom, and then that window will populate and you can choose your setting just like we did here. All right, so I'll switch you guys over to the camera now so you can see how we're going to cut this. All right, so here are my little spice jars, or containers. I guess they're not really jars. And this is the vinyl we're going to be using. Like I said, it's just a scrap, and it is permanent Oracle 651. So if you're more comfortable using non-permanent vinyl, you could totally do that. But if you're looking for it to like last and not peel, then I would recommend using the permanent, but it's really up to you, personal preference. So I'll move those out of the way. All right, and so I'm using my blue mat just because that's pretty much the only mat I use is my blue mat. So this is the light grip mat, and that is basically all we need to do is put our vinyl on, and our light is blinking so we can insert our mat. All right, I just trimmed that vinyl because it was just way too wonky. All right, so we can insert our mat. And our Cricut light is blinking, so we can click that and it'll start to cut. Alright, so while that is cutting, I'm just going to take a cotton ball and just clean off these lids a little bit with some rubbing alcohol just to clean them up a little bit. And then let them dry. Oop. Do I have this on like auto zoom or something?
Focus?
Well, look.
Oh no, because it's just the lens. When you hold it upside down, it like.
Oh, so I have to just tilt it up a little bit. All right, so we are done cutting, so we can unload our mat and move our machine. We're done using that. All right, so we can take our vinyl off of the mat, and I'm also going to just trim the part that we are using so we can save the rest for another project. And so now we're just going to weed this. And so I'm gonna try and you can, I don't know if you guys can see, but most of the letters stayed intact with the exception of some of these middles came out. But for this project, that's fine because we don't need the middles, so it's all good. So now I'm gonna be brave and I'm gonna try and weed this all in one swoop. So I'm just picking up a corner here and I'm just going to basically peel away, and I'm gonna go from left to right, and I'm just gonna be mindful that all of my, see that R just peeled up, so I'm just gonna poke my weeding tool through. So I'm just gonna basically make sure I can spell all these correctly. So if they make an actual word, then I got all my letters. And so if a letter starts to come up with the vinyl, I just poke my weeding tool through just to put it back down into place. So obviously if you are doing this project too, you can totally cut these out. I'm just trying to save some time and do it kind of the lazy way. For some reason the O's want to stay stuck. Alright, so I'm going to look at my vinyl. I don't see any words left, so that's good. I'm going to hold it there just in case. So I'm just going to put that aside. And now I'm just going to go in and weed out the middles of the letters. So weeding out the A, the middle of the R. Alright, so we have all of our spices. So now I'm just going to take my scissors and basically split these up into individual labels and try not to cut them in the meantime. Alright, so now we have our onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, pumpkin pie spice, chili powder, curry powder, oregano, chili flakes, turmeric, and paprika. Alright, so I did the thyme one as a practice, so this is what this is what the end product is going to be. So, and oh, I should maybe show you guys. So basically, there's already a piece of vinyl on here. Oops. So these are the OXO. They're like little pops, so you just pop and then it seals your spice. So I thought these were really cool. I registered for a ton of them on our registry. Oh my god, stupid piece of vinyl. Okay, finally. All right, so this is the chili powder. So I'm going to be using the Expressions masking transfer tape. So this was the same roll that Auntie T sent to me maybe like a year ago, and it still has been my tried and true. So I just ripped off a little piece, and I'm going to trim this because I don't need this whole piece. Use that for another one. So I'm just going to put the transfer tape right on top. Smooth it out with my scraper. Alright, so then I'm just going to peel off the backing. Alright, so we have our label on our transfer tape. So now I'm going to put these like up at the top here, and I was originally going to do it in on the center thing, but that's like what I'm hitting. So I feel like I want to put it on the border that I don't really touch. So I'm just going to line it up as best as I can. Alright. Take my scraper and smooth it out. Really get it adhered, and then just peel off our transfer tape. How cute is that? Alright, so I'll do one more. I'll do our curry powder. Alright, so I just peeled another piece of transfer tape. I have it on our label. So I'm just scraping it down, making sure it's on there. And then I'm just going to peel off the backing. And I can see I have vinyl all over, and I think one of the little dots got stuck here. Alright, so now that I have it on my transfer tape, I'm just going to line it up as best as I can to this little Alright, now I'm just going to press it down. And then peel off our transfer tape. And we have our curry powder. Alright, so there you have it. We have our super easy little spice labels. I just love how these turned out. They look so clean and so simple and super quick. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Make sure you like and subscribe. And as always, happy crafting!